ver qué es esto. Vale, esto ya puedo. Dale. Vale, este. Dale, este. ¡No! Vale, otro más. Para saca. Ataque más 30, esto es puta mierda. Lanza al enemigo por los aires. Evasión aérea. Buah, es que hay tantas cosas. Ataque más 30. Resistencia más 30. Ataque más 10. Penetración más 20, yo que sé. No sé ni qué pillar. Hombre, esto está bien. Voy con eso mismo, yo que sé. Llave secreta. Vale, creo que sé lo que es.
I can feel my precision improving.
Creo que es el sitio. Vale, a guardar. ¿Dónde está mi puta nave? Todo lo que he tenido que hacer, joder. Qué rico, ¿eh? Qué bonito. Bonitas vistas. Mira, mira, mira. Mira la nave. Y mira el fin del mundo.
Hey, is that it over there?
Está hecho una mierda.
I think the animals back at the
Y el
ranch
tío
should be
ahí,
all
o
grown
sea,
up by now.
este tío podía haber pillado la nave y ser puto millonario, y el tío ahí esperándonos para vendernos putas mierdas. Qué puto amo. Qué grande que es. Me parece brutal. ¿Qué quieres que te diga? A ver, ¿qué puedo comprar? Esto de melocotón. De uva. Derrochador, me encanta. Soy yo. El derrochador soy yo. Uf, es que 9000 me pide. Están locos. Vale, con esto yo creo que... no sé, hasta llegar a 10 con esto mismo. Es que no tiene sentido, tío. Podría haber pillado la puta nave y dejar de tener que trabajar para toda su vida.
Hey, look.
Y él te dice, ah, una aeronave, que es un elemento hiper valioso. Va, me da igual. Seguiré con mi vida, para quien la quiera. Es un tío
We've
altruista.
got way more animals.
I never imagined Law would have a knack for husbandry.
Makes sense since they're on the same wavelength.
You're making me blush over here.
Law, maybe you should consider what that statement actually means.
Vale, toma la nave.
Alvin?
Did you remember something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
Como sabe, es increíble.
3 centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Los lobos, ¿por qué?
I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
Salen muchos enemigos ahí, poca variedad de enemigos.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Ahora se da cuenta.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alphen.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Del presente.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave? We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets.
Vale, parece ser que este es un punto de no retorno. De en plan, haz secundarias ya, porque o si no, no vas a poder hacerlas hasta que te pases el juego. Tiene pinta que es eso, ¿eh? Hay un símbolo de acción, pero no me deja hacer absolutamente nada. ¡Se viene Cefi! Es el Cefi. One Wing Angel. Es mejor la canción del jefe final del Seno 1, la verdad. Me gusta muchísimo más.
It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing, did you ever imagine we'd be going to Lenegis?
So...
After all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when I ran away from home, right?
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son was doing right now.
And a little shocked, too.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down, I knew our journey would lead to confronting Lenegis.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renan. The rest of us can barely even picture what it means to leave
Sí,
Dana.
me encanta.
No offense to Shionne and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory.
No offense taken, and this is no picnic for me either.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renan homeworld leave Dana alone for good. I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us alone?
The people of Lenegis?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work with Shionne and Dohalim, right? And it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then why can't we?
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dana. There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Danans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge
Se lo han
down on Dana.
buscado, es lo que hay.
What happens next is on them.
Por ir ligeros de ropa.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegis. And wherever she is, we should find the Renaissance too.
That's right. If we can take it back, then
Nos
Shionne can
esperan
finally
una
get rid of
puta
her
mierda que
thorns.
vayamos al Negris con una nave espacial. No se esperan para nada.
Shionne?
Yeah.
Algo me ocultan.
Where? Shionne? Where'd Shionne go? How could she just go off on her own?
Se vaya sola. Lo típico, he visto esto 500.000 veces.
Shionne. Shionne! It's your thorns? But why?
Le controlan.
You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
¿Por qué gilipollas? ¿Por qué no lo hice?
Stay out of my way.
¿Por qué es tremenda subnormal? Es que no lo entiendo. ¿Por qué es tan retrasada?
Wait a second. Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up.
Why would you do this?
I told you to
La
shut
traidora del equipo. Es la traidora del Tales of.
I won't let you.
I mean it.
¿Por qué es retrasada mental? No lo entiendo.
I won't tell you again. Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
Qué mal me cae. Qué mal me puto cae. ¿Por qué no suelta lo que está ocultando del principio del juego? Es que es gilipollas. No soporto a este personaje, te lo juro. Es bipolar o algo.
Do you remember back when I was stabbed? By Volron?
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time. The first time was when I was only a child. After that...
Por fin lo sueltas. ¿Qué te costaba soltarlo al principio del juego? Esto, ¿por qué ahora y no al principio?
Couldn't die.
¡Es
So
inmortal!
you're immortal?
Si nunca has muerto es que es inmortal.
I believe you, Shionne. But tell me how is something like that possible?
My thorns. They're me, but at the same time not. They're part of me. I have no idea why. But my thorns will never let me die. At least not before I'm meant to.
Buen escote.
Before your death?
When my thorns free themselves.
Estaba
Through
clarísimo.
my death.
Que era rollo Final 10. Estaba clarísimo.
I've seen it. A darkness that swallows up everything until nothing remains. It's a vision of oblivion I can't escape.
Me da igual que se excuse ahora. Es insoportable todo el
I
juego.
want to believe it's all just a bad dream. But no matter what I tell myself, I know it's not.
Gafas de sol por la noche. Puto amo, ¿eh?
Wait. The whole reason you needed the Renaissance was to get rid of your thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then what will happen to the rest of me?
Es pura toxicidad. Si mata la toxicidad, se muere.
Right. Either way you look
Es
at
más
it, I'm
veneno
going
que
to die.
mujer.
But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to fight with us, isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have been with us fighting desperately to die.
Me da igual sus putas excusas. Es un personaje inaguantable.
That was the plan.
Esto no corrige al personaje. Esto no le
Then I met
disculpa.
And before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
No me cuentes cuentos chinos. Mona china.
Shionne, don't lose hope yet. We'll find a way to save you. There's still time to.
Me cae muy mal, pero muy mal.
Why?
Because the darkness won't just consume me. The truth is, it will consume all of existence as well. It was only a suspicion at first. But ever since the Red Woman triggered my maiden powers, I've been more certain than ever before. It was then that I finally came to realize my powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis, when the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens,
¿Y por qué no podía decir las cosas a su debido momento y ha tenido que esperarse al final? Porque es retrasada mental. Esa es la explicación.
And that's why you wanted to leave by yourself. You planned to find the Renaissance on your own and sacrifice yourself to stop the thorns.
Un personaje que está todo el rato ahí, pasivo-agresivo, quejándose de todo, de todos los otros personajes del juego. Qué asco.
I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Danans didn't matter.
Alisa pues era una puta aburrida, pero no estaba todo el rato ahí llorando y echando mierda sobre los demás.
But I don't want to. Not now that I have
Velvet
this.
pues era ira y oscuridad todo el rato, por venganza.
I wish we had never met. Then I wouldn't have to feel this way. Alvin?
Pero Velvet pues estaba pasiva con sus aliados, no estaba agresiva y metiéndose con ellos.
It's no better than being a slave. How can you endure this?
Alvin.
No sé cómo le puede gustar a Alphen. Es una tía que da mucho asco.
I won't let it happen. We can fight this. Fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
No sé cómo puede estar enamorado de ella, no lo puto entiendo.
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else too.
Shionne, what do you want? It's your decision ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No, you won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Los putos amos.
Count me in as well. I want to be a force for good, not hate.
And me too. I meant it with all of
¿Ves?
my
Los
heart when I
compañeros sí
told
que
you
son los
before.
putos amos, pero Shionne
Neither of you will
habría
be
que
alone in this
enterrarla.
You guys.
And I, for one, don't believe this venture is without hope. Shionne is the descendant of a maiden from 300 years ago. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that those events have some connection to her thorns. The true nature of which, I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegis and uncover the truth of what's unfolding here.
I take it you mean we might find a way to get rid of her thorns and she'll live?
It's certainly possible. Though I suspect the nature of the Sovereign is connected somehow.
So be it. I've already lost everything I had once. And I won't let it happen again. Shionne.
Se ha dicho ya 50 veces en todo el juego. Y no se entera porque tiene retraso mental. Tiene un CI por debajo de 50, por lo menos.
You are not alone.
¿Por qué coño no ha dicho las cosas al principio? Es que no tiene sentido.
You guys. You're all so stubborn. Thank you, everyone.
No, pero es que Shionne cambia más tarde. Aunque al principio es insoportable, ya veréis cómo cambia.
For right now. In a little while longer.
Y veréis cómo luego
I just
mola.
want to hold on to this dream. And most of all, more than anything else, I want to be with all of you.
Todo el puto juego dando asco y estando de mal humor. Y ahora esperas que me encariñe de este personaje. Te vas a ir a tomar por el puto culo. Te pueden meter el personaje por el culo. Le tengo asco y tirria. Pues sí, la verdad es que sí.
The end of the world. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
I believe Shionne is telling the truth. What about you?
As a friend, yes, I want to believe her. Everything that's happened seems... Still, it's hard to fathom something that could usher outright doom to...
No, I understand. Even Shionne doesn't seem to know
We have so many pieces of the puzzle in our hands.
So where do her thorns fit in then?
Well, I imagine they must sit at the very center of it all.
Yeah, I remember. It was the...
Right. And from that, we're able to hypothesize how vast Let's return to when we found Shionne in Pelagian. When her thorns went wild, they contained...
So you think those thorns might be alive too? But why would they want to destroy the entire world?
As for that, I really cannot say for certain.
You know, I've noticed since we've met that you like...
Can you blame me? When one realizes that the world they once thought to be true is but a mere especially when that deception has led to others getting hurt.
Dohalim?
I imagine the remaining pieces of the puzzle that we seek rest somewhere within Lenegis.
So...
As for what the final picture will look like, who can say?
Right.
Pues la verdad. Habrá vendedores en Lenegis.
How you holding up?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Oh, that? That was not...
Compared to what Shionne's going through, you mean? Still, even if you yourself might be willing to...
Yeah, I know. I'll be careful.
Shionne doesn't know how lucky she is to have you around, you know?
Yeah, very funny.
I'm being serious. You went up and held her close like you still had that mask on. And you didn't even bat an eye.
El puto amo.
She
Siempre
really
será el
needed that.
máscara de hierro, siempre.
That's what I mean when I said you saved her.
El
Just like
máscaras.
you did with the rest of us.
El máscaras
I
versus
just
el
want
guasón
for
en el
Shionne
Smash.
what we all have. The ability to touch someone without the fear of killing them. Those thorns have robbed her of the kind of everyday things we all take for granted. And it's not right.
You can say that again. It may be normal for us. I have my own dreams. But a world without her?
Agreed.
Esto es muy
It's like
Sinfonia,
more
¿eh?
and more keeps getting taken from.
Y hablando de Sinfonia, muchos me dirán, pero es que Colette es igual, se calla las cosas y no te dice qué le pasa hasta el final, hasta que ya es el último momento. Sí, es muy tonto por su parte, pero Colette al menos era un corazón y no da todo el puto asco y estaba ahí todo el rato enfadada, de mal humor y criticando a todo el puto mundo. Colette tenía buena personalidad. Pero aquí han hecho una Colette que es que da todo el asco, es mala persona. ¿Cómo me va a gustar una mala persona?
Can't sleep?
After everything we just heard,
Fair enough.
Shionne's had to deal with so
Todo el
much
rato,
on her own.
Sion,
Even when we
joder.
were all laughing and celebrating, I thought she was keeping her distance because of her thorns. I just figured that was the type of person she was, you know? But it turned out to be none of that. All this time, she felt like she had to die.
Colette 2.0.
She was so alone this entire time. How could I call her a friend, and yet...
I'm sure it made her happy, knowing you were there for her.
Pues díselo, la tienes ahí al lado, a
really
4
think so?
pasos.
Yeah, I do. If she didn't think of... You were a good friend to her before, and you'll be an even better one now.
Yeah, I really
El tío de la
hope so.
máscara en Smash contra
I
el
want to
tío
be
de
the
la
best
gorra.
I can for her. When you think about it, we were all alone in our own way. But over time, we've all found ways to let each other... No, I mean, I hope she's able to do that. I think it'd be really nice if we could all just be there to support each other when it really counts.
Rinwell.
O sea, que si Alphen entra en Smash, da igual los ataques que le hagas, que no va a retroceder. O sea, le pones porcentaje, pero el personaje no retrocede. Sería el único personaje que tendría esa mecánica. Sería brutal, estaría cheto.
Did you know?
You mean about Shionne?
Yeah, I didn't have the slightest idea. I mean, every once... It's like a completely different
Yo me lo
world
veía venir
spinning around me, and I
completamente, que quería
couldn't even
sacrificarse
see
al
it.
Final 10. De hecho, lo comenté
You
hace
and
unos
me
cuantos
both.
capítulos.
I mean, I knew something was bothering her, but
Y a los
I could never
Sinfonia,
quite figure out what it
obviamente.
was.
Porque este juego es Sinfonia 2.0.
You? But you're the one always looking out for her, aren't you?
That's what I thought. But in reality, I didn't understand.
At least you figured it out in time, though, right?
I don't think we're out of the woods yet. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, with all of us together, there's nothing we can't...
I know. No lone wolfing it.
Hey, you're the expert on what my dad would say.
Zephyr, I don't think that he'd have that much to say.
I guess he couldn't say anything even if he wanted to.
Law.
Sorry. I guess those of us amongst the living have enough problems to deal with, don't we? We'll need all our strength to save Shionne. I'll probably end up worrying again at some point. But I guess I'll think it over more then.
Y te hace unos
Okay.
combos que flipas, el
Yeah,
cabrón.
I think
Te
it
inicia
is.
un combo en tierra, te lleva al aire y te estampa contra tierra. Y eso podría ser la del abismo, ¿sabes? Eso podría ser la del abismo. Si te lo hace en el aire, te manda para abajo siempre, sí o sí. Y que sea fácil de ejecutar. Y luego tú te recuperas. Buah. Qué cheto estaría Alphen en Smash. A ver la cinemática. Como si tiene que ser cinemática.
Hey, you doing all right?
I seem to cause nothing
Lo
but
haces.
worry. As much as I try to look like I have things under control, everyone still worries about me.
You're not the only one.
Hey, do you remember the first time you said I was your friend?
No.
No? When was that? Sorry, I can't remember.
That's okay. It came so naturally to you, I'm not surprised you forgot. I was different back then. The Danans were not even people to me, and I knew I would
Pues claro
always
que vas
be
a
alone.
morir sola, nadie te aguanta.
But in that room with Deadime, when you called me your friend, it just shattered the wall that I'd built up around me. Because until that moment, I'd only seen you as a means to an end. I thought of you as a way to use the blazing sword, and to obtain the Renis Alma. But after that day, one time became two. And before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me and Dohalim your friends. It didn't matter that we were Renin.
Niñaño.
You cared about us as you would any other people.
Completamente gerbo.
Then, everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. Before then, I never even dreamed I could have that. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die in my place.
Shionne.
But then I realized I'd only really been thinking of myself that entire time. After saying how I felt, and hearing what you all had to say, I finally understood that. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm not planning on dying anymore. I've met too many people along the way who I truly care about to give in now.
No me cuentes tu vida, que no me
So
interesa.
I'll fight. For Dana and for myself. I'll fight against my fate to preserve our future. And I'll win, come hell or
Ojalá
high
que
water.
pele, ojalá la cague.
I don't know how we're going to do it, but I won't let the world end because of me.
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shionne. Our fight won't be over until everyone, both Danans and Renins, can finally live in peace. But I swear I'll be there with you until the very end.
Thank you.
Arigatito.
Remember what we learned
Ari
back in
menino.
Calaglia? There's no wall so high that we can't break it down.
Yeah. I think you may be right about that.
La peor época, cuando solamente estaban ellos dos. Y tenías que aguantarla todo el rato.
Everyone well rested? Then let's go. We depart for Lenegis.
Bueno, vamos a Lenegis.
Man, I'm famished.
Pero antes voy a intentar forjar. Vamos a ver qué tengo en el equipo. Vale, está guay. Forjar arma. Ah, tengo muy poco, espérate, tengo que vender algo. Trozo de oro. Uf. Carne de rapid. No sé si venderlo. Puf, puf, puf. Gel dorado. Las armaduras sí que podía venderlas. Mira, mira, mira. Me hago el más rico del planeta. Ahora sí, bro. El más rico del planeta. Domando del agua, tercera edición. Me falta Domando del agua 2. Y que para ello me falta aleta de lagarto. Su puta madre, no sé dónde está. Su puta madre, no sé dónde está. Y parece que este es el más tocho de todos. Cercado. Necesito colmillo abrasador. Aguijón paralizante. Puños tiranos. Vale, este sí. Escudo rojo, este creo que es el de Kratos. Vaya mierda este, ¿no? Es malísimo ese. Este parece ser que es el mejor escudo y allá quedamos. Buah. Peluches de Rapid, qué guapo. Lo quiero solamente por los loles. Domando el agua, rugido igneo y supremo, necesito el mejorado. Y del mejorado necesito rugido igneo y si saco igneo dracontino, cosas que no tengo. Filo expiatorio. Vale, forjar y equipar. Ahí, bien capo estoy. Estoy bien capo, chaval. Las armas de broma, me encanta. Granja total. Tengo cosillas que pillar, pero bueno. Tiempo al tiempo. Aguijón paralizante. ¿Dónde coño estará eso? Ya lo buscaré. No, esto no. Bueno, a lo mejor puedo comprar algo aquí. Nada del otro mundo. Esto, pues ya que estoy 15. Bueno, el gel de piña me llama, ¿eh? Sí, sí, gel de piña 10. Vale, ya está. Penetración más 40.
I'm impressed how well balanced this thing is.
Ahí tengo otra secundaria. Solamente me queda una secundaria que acaba de aparecer ahí, que está ahí. Vamos a ver cuál es y nos vamos a Lenegis. A ver qué Milan me dice. No voy a hacer secundarias, O sea, si es de entregar ingredientes, guay, pero si es de matar bichos y todo eso, me lo dejo.
Wow. Thank you.
A ver,
Great.
Yeah.
¿cuál es tu energía astral preferida? Obviamente la de fuego. ¿Cómo te gusta luchar? Cuerpo a cuerpo. Lo más importante en la vida. El dinero, claramente. Tener tiempo libre, mis amigos. Las tres cosas. Pero voy a decir... El mundo se interpone en tu camino. ¿Qué haces? Derribarlo. Así es como es él, ¿sabes? Le he calado de puta madre. Alfen es así.
I wish I could get an examination.
Well, if you say so. Let me see. Yes, you're in well, all right?
If only your brain could keep up with your mouth.
Vale. Pues no. La aguja, el bosque de los búhos, Calaglia, volcán Verda. Zona exterior. Ahora sí. Las secundarias que me mandaron, pues lo haré más tarde, ¿vale?
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
Porque necesito más nivel para la mayoría de esas secundarias, así que... F. Por cierto, antes me iba un poco mal el tema del directo y todo eso. Porque tenía el Discord abierto y no me había acordado de cerrarlo. Qué pelotudo, Vale, vamos al NX. ¡Flipante! ¡Nos vamos! A TCA, vamos. Espero una cinemática. En Sinfonia había cinemática.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that. You're going to jinx us.
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name?
El High Wind, el viento fuerte.
You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought
La
about it.
nave Gumi.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
Buito. Tan, tararan, tan, 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 tararan, tan, tan, tan.
Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... Well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Fortnite.
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shionne's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good?
Van a ir y le van a decir, porfa, déjennos en paz.
All right.
Y se van a partir el culo en su cara. Por fin, no nos opriman, señores. ¡Hacia el futuro! El DeLorean. ¿Te imaginas que se mueren porque no respiran oxígeno? Y dijeron, mierda, no contamos con eso.
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Por eso no empatizan.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shionne? You seem a little different.
Different? Like in a bad way different?
No, not at all. You seem more driven lately, like you found a zest for life. It suits you.
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left Lenegis?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. You too have a history with Lenegis. A traumatic one, no less. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to address. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking around the ship.
Esto de medieval no
We'll be
tiene
going to
nada,
Lenegis soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh? What was life on Lenegis like back then? you know.
Let's just say I don't have many happy memories. They called it treatment. But in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
You mean...
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and day in and day out, every single day. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I
Le
forget it?
retorcían los pezones y le dolía muy
Reeling from the
fuerte.
pain, like I was a monster or something. Some existence, huh? A blight on any... I thought things couldn't get any worse. But then they did. I started to have Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge... That's when it hit me. If I was going to die...
I'm sorry. I didn't mean...
No, it's fine.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. But why not the other way around? Why shouldn't we be the ones...
Are you crazy?
No vale la
Why
pena,
would you
bro.
sacrifice your
Por una
life
tía así no vale la pena. Hay
That's
muchos otros
exactly
peces en
my
el mar.
point. Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stakes? How is that even right? It's that logic that's used to justify slavery, as if this struggle was never about saving only ourselves. But that doesn't... If we're doing this to protect people, if we're...
A world free of sacrifice.
Not just me. We're in this together, remember? If we're going to win, everyone has to win. Now I see it.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Danon victory over Rena can't be the end.
You bet we can pull it off. We have to.
Yeah, you're right. We can do this. Together.
No se entienden. Una da la mano, el otro da el puño. A ver si choca el puño. No es tu bro. No es lo. Madre mía, cómo quieren follar estos.
Hey, Alvin, listen to this.
Hey, shut up!
What's got Law all flustered?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And
Hey, I never said I was scared. I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be...
it's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed...
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can...
Oh, that's a good point. If you...
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride.
¿Por qué se iba a tomar por el putísimo culo?
You okay?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it is. It looked...
It's a healing pod. It fixes it.
Oh, you don't say. Alphen? Was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when Naori laid me inside here.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that mean... you were inside for 300 years?
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right.
Y luego se pasó 300 años
With the
sin
amount
dormir.
of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you. And not Alphen. Can you recall back to what it is that...
Of course. That's why you came...
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was... I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting... The world's bigger than just Menancia. My dream... If I've learned anything on... And the one who brought me along was you, Alphen.
Y en vez de irse con esta, que vale muchísimo más la pena, se va con Shionne. Es gilipollas, tío. Se merece todo lo malo que le
You
pase.
should probably save your thanks. At least...
I know. But whatever we...
Se merece todo lo malo que le pase por gilipollas.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let's take things one step at a time.
Tiene ahí a una tibarrona que es brutal en todos los aspectos. En físico mejor que Shionne. En personalidad es perfecta. ¿Y a quién quiere? A Shionne. Este tío gilipollas. No hay más.
Is everyone about ready?
Before we do that, just what?
Kisara has a point.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since...
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegis is... Of course, it also happens to be a city and its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right?
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play.
Y así es como funciona la vida real. El mundo es injusto, amigos.
As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dana even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renin ladder is considered superior to be...
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order, right?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really...
Fair.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't exactly an invitation to high society.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking.
Jeez.
¿Ves? No como las mujeres, que no dicen lo que piensan.
Wait a second. Are you... He is! Lost blushing!
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like... As if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone.
So this.
Y eso es lo que pasa en la vida
Are
real.
we expecting to find
En
her on
muchos
Lenegis?
temas.
I would wager so. Lenig, chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being...
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need to take it...
That red woman's got a lot to answer for.
We're about to land. The descent can...
If there are clues about your thorns out there, Shionne...
La gente no admite cosas que son ciertas porque le hacen quedar mal. Y la gente quiere quedar bien. La gente es muy postureta y muy falsa. El otro día me reñía un chupi porque yo digo las cosas como las pienso. Yo digo lo que pienso, sea bueno o sea malo. Y me dice, no digas esto, no sé qué. Y digo, vamos a ver, yo pienso así, quien se ofenda que se joda. No voy a ser un falso y decir otra cosa. ¿Es normal que no se oiga nada?
Automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Me quiero suicidar de una
Do
hipotermia.
you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this red woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
And you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere
Obviamente.
out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get
Le
us
está
in, I
quemando
say we give
el
it a
orto
shot.
y la espada todo el rato, la espada.
Shionne's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone.
Forbidden Zone.
Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renans. The capital city where Shionne and Dohalim used to live, no less. Who knows what we'll find on the other side?